Following on from my recent video on Elvis Presley's March 1956 debut album, I will today look at the 1956 follow-up studio LP simply titled Elvis in the USA and titled Rock and Roll No.2 in the UK and released here in early '57. This was the second and final Elvis studio LP to be issued by HMV. Thereafter, Elvis's musical output in the UK would appear on RCA Victor or subsidiaries such as Camden Records and RCA International. Recorded during sessions held at Radio Recorders Studios in Hollywood in September 1956, accompanied by one track left over from Elvis's first RCA recording session in New York City in January 1956, the album was released in America in October '56 and in the UK on the HMV label in early '57. The record was produced by Steve Sholes, who became Presley's regular producer for the next 10 years, overseeing 15 chart-topping hit singles for Elvis in the UK. Just as the debut LP, the #2 album featured Elvis on vocals and rhythm guitar, backed by his original Sun Records era band of Scotty Moore on lead guitar, Bill Black on double bass and DJ Fontana on drums. Elvis also played piano on 4 tracks including Old Shep, Paralyzed, First in Line and How's the World Treating You. The band was now supported by the Jordanaires, a close harmony gospel quartet who provided backing vocals and who would appear alongside Elvis in live performances on his recordings and in his feature films from 1956 to 1970. Originally released in the UK as Elvis Presley #2 on his master's voice with the catalogue number CLP1105 with a different front cover to the American album. It was also titled as Rock and Roll No.2 on the record labels. Producer Sholes selected 2 new songs for the sessions: Paralyzed, co-written by Elvis with Otis Blackwell, which became a UK top 10 single, and Love Me from Jerry Leiber and Mike Stoller, the authors of Presley's summer hit of 1956, Hound Dog, the first record to top all 3 of the Billboard singles charts then in existence. Presley chose to cover 3 Little Richard songs, Long Tall Sally, Rip It Up and Reddy Teddy, and selected 3 new country ballads, First in Line, Anyplace is Paradise and How's the World Treating You, co-written by the Nashville guitarist and Sun Studios session man Chet Atkins, who became a successful artist and producer in his own right. Emulating his record choices at Sun Studios in Memphis, Elvis covered another Bill Monroe bluegrass song, When My Blue Moon Turns to Gold Again, and a further Delta Blues, So Glad You're Mine by Arthur Big Boy Crudup, writer of That's All Right Mama. The record label is the classic HMV design with a colour illustration showing Nipper the dog peering into a vintage gramophone set. The text is printed in gold type and set against a deep red background. There is a gramophone company rim text in lowercase type, and Made in Great Britain appears in capitals at the 6 o'clock position. There is a pressing ring close to the spindle hole. The record is housed in a poly-lined, die-cut, printed company paper sleeve. The British issue features a black and white photo of Elvis in a velvet shirt, which was tinted or retouched in green colour and set against a plain yellow background. There are 4 black and white photographs to the rear showing Elvis in a relaxed mood, on horseback, reading a book, sitting on his motorcycle at Graceland and splashing around in a pool. It has shaped or curved cut flipbacks to the top and bottom of the sleeve, and there are a couple of slight variations in the text setting, with the HMV logo appearing centrally at the foot or aligned to the left. Most have the printer's credit W&W, although some copies omit this. These 50s HMV sleeves are notoriously fragile and the soft card used is prone to wear and tear, particularly at the open edge. Fine copies like this are truly scarce. The album was deleted in the UK in 1958 along with Elvis's other 2 British HMV LPs when the manufacture and distribution of Elvis records passed from HMV to RCA. It was reissued in the UK by RCA Victor Records in December 1962 as RD or SF 7528, now following the format of the American original, simply titled Elvis on the front, and with a full colour cover photo of Elvis. This was available in both mono and electronically reprocessed stereo, with the early stereo copies being really rather scarce. This was pressed by Decca Records, as is stated, with a black RCA Victor label, with text printed in silver. It features Decca's trademark deep groove around 15mm from the perimeter. Early 60s sleeves feature flipbacks to the rear and are printed by McNeil Press. This version of the album stayed in the catalogue for the rest of the 60s and throughout the 70s. In 1965 it was repressed on the RCA Red Spot label as shown here, featuring an MT or JT tax code printed on the label rather than embossed, and issued in both flipback and non-flipback sleeves. The 1967 pressing is similar but dispenses with the printed tax code on the label and was issued with non-flipback sleeves only. The 1969 pressing features the all-new orange RCA label with text printed in black and company logos and rim text printed in white. This was the standard label used by RCA throughout the 70s and into the 80s. The sleeve is the front laminated non-flipback design printed by McNeil Press, and the record is housed in an RCA British Patents text die-cut polyline paper sleeve. Finally, in 1981, the LP was reissued once more with a rather lacklustre cover design using a close-up from the original US album. This was available on the standard orange RCA Victor label or on the green RCA International label under a new catalogue number INTS 5142. Upon release, the LP topped the album charts in the US and reached number 3 in the UK. It has since been certified platinum by the RIAA. In the price guide, fine copies of the HMV version are listed at £700. Black label reissues range from £20 to £30, but do expect to pay more for the early stereo copies. Orange label pressings are around £10 to £15. And that just about brings to an end my brief history of the second studio LP from Elvis Presley. I hope you enjoyed the content. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.